So I'm out here in the beautiful mountains of Tennessee, away from the internet, away from the toxicity of the internet, with nothing but my phone, absolutely no internet at all. And it's honestly been very refreshing. But there are two things on my mind. One, this is bear territory. So I'm thinking to myself, what are the chances I get attacked and mauled to death by a bear out here? And two, how does Asmongold do this? Doesn't he live like in Texas or near Texas? Does he live like out in the woods? He literally goes into his backyards and he sees bears having picnics, right? I'd be terrified. But we went into town and I booted up Reddit for a minute, and like the first thing I see is just people blasting Blue Protocol. And as you guys know, I've been one of the largest positive forces towards Blue Protocol. Yeah, I've done a couple negative videos, but that's because they were warranted. You know, people's concerns with the game, completely and totally warranted. I get it. They don't want censorship. They don't want the removal of content. It's perfectly fine. But at the same time, I feel like the game has just received so much criticism and has so much hate directed towards it, when ultimately the game isn't even playable yet. Like, outside of Japan anyway. The Chinese and Korean versions were delayed until 2024. I know, shocking. But a lot of people, I feel like a lot of people, they haven't played Blue Protocol yet. Some people got into the Japanese release using a VPN. I did myself. I got banned after a few days. But the majority of people, they've gone onto Reddit and they have these misconceptions of what the game is, or what the game is going to be like, based off of Amazon Game Studios being attached to it. And don't get me wrong, I'm not defending Amazon here. I'm truly not. I think Amazon definitely had some responsibility for what happened with Lost Ark. But without Amazon, we would never have had Lost Ark. So by that logic, by that train of thought, without Amazon, we wouldn't have had Blue Protocol playable at any capacity. Now, I'm still excited for Blue Protocol because I think Blue Protocol is going to be the anime MMO we have been waiting for a while now. There have been numerous MMO releases over the last several years. None of them, with the single exception of PSO2 New Genesis, has been an anime game. I know anime games aren't the most popular genre of MMO, but they are a genre of MMO that a lot of people like. Back in the early to mid 2000s, we had Fly Fiesta, Rose Online, Luna Online. There were so many big popular anime MMOs. That market is still there. There just hasn't been an MMO that captured that audience. Now, I'm excited for Blue Protocol because when I played it, during the test phase, during the launch, the game had fantastic action combat for an anime MMO. Very beautiful world. Good character customization. Not great, but by anime MMO standards, pretty good. It had open world content. It had a unique way of obtaining weapons. It had the Imagine system, which was another way of increasing the power of your character that wasn't directly related to gear. There were some unique mechanics and unique features in the game. The classes were fun. They all felt somewhat unique. Now, yes, the game might be censored. Yes, the game might not have much of an end game. I know one of the main complaints outside of the censorship and the removal of the skirt for the character, the little character body archetype was a lack of content, a severe lack of content, not just a lack, a severe lack of content. But in the latest live stream, the devs went on to confirm an expansion to the story, an expansion to content at endgame. Now, this expansion has come several months after release. Now, I want you guys to take note of this. When MMOs release, they release with very limited content. The content that is consumable is finite. Players expect there to be an exorbitant amount of content to consume. They expect there to be dozens of dungeons, a plethora of raids. When the reality is, the majority of MMOs that have released, that released initially in its country of origin, like Lost Ark, when we got it globally, it had already been out in Korea for like years. Blue Protocol released, and the content was very limited. When Allion released, the content was very limited. When PSO2 New Genesis released, the content was very limited. That's because it didn't have years to accumulate content like Final Fantasy XIV, like World of Warcraft. These are games that people compare new MMOs to, and it's unfair because a new game, a new release, is never going to have the amount of content that older games have, that older games have had years to accrue. So one major complaint is that there's not much to do, but a few years from now, there will be. And I'm not saying that Blue Protocol is going to necessarily live a few years to reach that point, but I just feel like the fact that there isn't a lot of content right now isn't necessarily a reason enough for me to criticize it, because that's just the state of the genre. Like, most MMOs, unfortunately, just don't have the ability to release with all of that content. They have a finite budget, and they have a finite amount of time if they want to get it out at any reasonable amount of time. I'm excited for Blue Protocol because it's something new, it's something fresh, it's something exciting. Is it going to be the next big MMO? No. Is it going to give us thousands of hours worth of content? Is it going to consume our lives for months on end? No, it's not. But it's a free game that I can play with my wife, MRSSSTIX, that I can play with some of you guys and enjoy just having fun at, like running some dungeons, running some raids, creating my character, progressing through the world, like playing it like an MMO, regardless of whether my character wears shorts or a skirt, regardless of whether I can play as a little person or a tall person. Like, I just don't give a fuck. I don't like censorship. I don't support censorship. But at the end of the day, I'm going to prioritize having fun in the game rather than criticizing it, judging it, and then boycotting it. I will make my voice heard, as you guys should too. You guys should most definitely speak with your actions. So if you don't agree with what they're doing, don't play it. If you don't agree with what they're doing, do not spend money. Do not support them. It's that simple. But just because I don't support a few of the things that they do doesn't mean I'm going to entirely disregard it. I think the game looks like a lot of fun. I had fun during the beta. I had fun during the Japanese launch, and I'm going to play it. And I'm going to have fun with it. Whether you guys do or don't is up to you. But I'm still looking forward to it. And I'm still excited to play it. Hopefully, you guys are too, because a lot of the target audience probably doesn't even know about the game yet. But is going to as we inch ever closer to its release. Theoretically, in the next few months, but realistically, probably at some point hopefully it's at some point in 2024.